I don't want to go do research to validate what I think. I want to go do research to see if what I'm doing actually works. Now, who I talk to probably tends to be a little bit different because I want to talk to amateurs and professionals. I think there's sort of this myth of I want to go talk to the average consumer. The average consumer to me yields average insights. I want to go talk to beginners, somebody who has never done what I'm designing for, because there's a lot of truth in how naive they are. And then I want to talk to professionals. I want to talk to somebody who does this all the time. What I mean by human-centered is it's interesting because I think for a lot of companies, what kills their creativity, what kills their business is in many cases, there's sort of an internal war over who's right. Design right, is technology right, is engineering right, or executives right? Like who's right? When at the end of the day, your customer doesn't give a damn about any of that. So I think that for me, what it really is it's a recalibration to remember that we are designing for people that have needs that too many times whenever we convince ourselves that this is what a customer wants without actually talking to them, this is why we launch stuff that people don't want and we don't get the business impact. And there are a few too many companies who I work with, when they ask me sort of what their superpower is, my answer is their ability to rationalize mediocrity. They talk themselves into why their customers want this stuff without actually working with them. So for me, it's human-centered in that there are real people, and the real people in the way that we work come together, trust each other, and work internally. But then also, how do we work with our customers?
And how do you figure out what the customers want?
You go talk to them. I think for me, that's all.
How many do you talk to? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, so for me, that's always been a huge part of my work is trying to break my ideas. I don't want to go do research to validate what I think. I want to go do research to see if what I'm doing actually works. Now, who I talk to probably tends to be a little bit different because I want to talk to amateurs and professionals. I think there's sort of this myth of I want to go talk to the average consumer. The average consumer to me yields average insights. I want to go talk to beginners, somebody who has never done what I'm designing for, because there's a lot of truth in how naive they are. And then I want to talk to professionals. I want to talk to somebody who does this all the time. So if I'm designing a chef's knife, I want to talk to somebody who's never cooked and a professional chef, because there's on the one end, that naiveness is going to give me insights, and then the professional is going to do that. So again, I think trying to take your ideas to those extremes yields much better results.
So do you have the idea first and then you're going out to clarify or to confirm? Or do you go out without any idea and try to kind of identify it through the discussions? Yeah.
So, I mean, my approach has always sort of been a traditional design thinking, design sprint, whatever sort of the methodology is. If I want to go out and just find out what are the facts, right? Like so for me, whenever I worked at Starwood Hotels, instead of staying in corporate housing, I lived in a hotel for 364 days. Like I wanted to live in and actually see what was going on. Out of that, you find the insight, the unmet need. What's that thing that people want? Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. Then let's go have a bunch of ideas and then let's go test those. Because again, I think whenever you say, here's the one idea, you tend to look for validation as opposed to, again, sort of opportunity.
How many ideas would you say is a good place to start to test, you know?
I would say probably for me, it's that sort of, depending on what it is, 2 to 4 at the most. Because anything over 3 or 4 you're just shotgunning and hoping. And I think, again, if I've done the facts and done some insights, I should be able to narrow it down to something a little bit smaller. But for me, that's what I'm looking for, is to be able to say, okay, look, is the insight right? And if the insight's right, then how do we start to do the execution? If the execution's right, then how do I start to do the design? So it's a rolling iterative process where that way I'm sure at each step I'm validating what I'm doing and I'm building on it.